Can't stop the feeling. It's just dance, dance, dance. Trolls juntos novamente chegam aos cinemas essa quinta-feira e eu vim até Los Angeles, no DreamWorks Studios, para poder assistir a produção junto com os meus amigos Pop, Tronco e Guy Diamond. Gente, que filme maravilhoso. Eu sou muito fã do primeiro Trolls, não gostei tanto do segundo, mas eu vou falar pra você, esse terceiro filme, ele é muito fofo, ele é muito emocionante. A história dessa vez vai voltar no passado pra contar uma coisa que o Tronco estava escondendo da Pop, e agora que eles estão juntos, depois de muita paquera, de uma amizade verdadeira, eles formaram um casal. Ele participava de uma boy band tipo N5, que chama Brozone, mas os irmãos abandonaram ele quando acabaram a banda, quando ele era pequenininho, por isso que ele era tão amargo. Eu identifico ele porque eu sou amargo também às vezes. E agora a gente vai ver ele tentando procurar os irmãos para salvar um deles que foi sequestrado por dois cantores do mundo pop que não tem talento e estão sugando o talento de um dos Trolls. E foi nos bastidores da DreamWorks que eu descobri como a animação foi feita, desde os primeiros rabiscos até se transformar naquilo que a gente vê nas telonas, e foi simplesmente mágico. E hoje eu trago um pouquinho pra você do que eu descobri por aqui. Hi guys,
Hello.
what a fun movie.
Oh, thank you.
I'm singing the song since yesterday. I was watching some behind the scenes today with you, and one thing that I think was the most interest is how to make those characters dance. For me it was so simple, but when I saw the work you have done there, because you need a choreographer, which was the Justin Timberlake dancers, and you need to translate those movements to those tiny, with short arms and legs. So how hard was that?
I mean, it's a challenge.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is, you know, like you said, a lot of times the stuff that looks simple usually isn't. You know what I mean? Like for us, you know, an animation dance is very, very difficult. You know, there's not just the mechanics of it, but also the timing. You know, you have to learn a musicality. You know what I mean? You have to look like you're actually dancing. You know, you have to be a good dancer. You know, too. And I think, yeah, like you said, the arm proportions, the size of their heads, that sort of thing. It's not very conducive to what would be ideal if you wanted to animate a character dancing, but within that, there are creative limitations, but even within those creative limitations, a lot of fun, creative ideas, you know, come out of it. I think creativity a lot of times flourishes when there's a little bit of a limit, you know, at least.
I love what you guys do to interpret the dance, where if you can't do something, they might dance with their hair, or they might dance with... We got an example up there of a character full-on dancing, but it was just a hand.
Yes,
Cool.
absolutely. Yeah, like because their heads are so big, you can't raise the hands, you know, up above their heads. So you just gotta find something else, you know what I mean? You know, whether you raise it, you tilt them to the side and raise up their hands, or you stand them up on their hair.
Nos bastidores eu encontrei vários tipos de tecidos e texturas diferentes que eles usam para deixar a animação mais viva e realista.
It's interesting because 3D animation is unique in the sense that every asset, everything that you see in the film has to be modeled, textured, and positioned in a way, to be believable within the scene. Whereas, in a live action film, if I'm working on a spy thriller, I could go to Prague and I could film, on set there. Our world basically starts with, design work from, Tim will launch us on an idea and design work from Ruben, who will kind of come up with the concept, and then it's a matter of enacting it within CG. So.
Yeah, the layers of complexity are amplified by trying to make a movie that everything is tactile and textured.
Yeah.
I mean, every rock is not a rock, it's a felted bundle of fibers, and then we even have simple things. There's a guy mopping, but he's not mopping with water, it's iridescent pearlescent mercury. So everything is reimagined in a way that it sort of calls to its place where it exists. And then we have artists creating practical models at some point that are going to inform how that material might light. So we'll take photographs of backlighting of, say, a felted tree or a felted plant and go, oh, okay. So that's how the color would change once we get it into 3D and build it. We use that reference quite a bit.
Tronco, é falta de sync. A gente cresceu e só tem um caminho a ser seguido. pé na estrada.
And I get anxious just because I need to like edit and post a video today.
I'm sorry.
So don't you guys get anxious? Because you have to work 3 years in a movie and you have to wait 3 years to the audience to see so you can like comment and talk about it.
Lots of anxiety.
You're the first on, really. I mean,
Yeah.
you're very early, so you.
It really does feel like both an eternity and a second at the same time. It's really interesting because, you know, when you start the process, it's a lot of just imagining, okay, what could this be? Where could this go? And you start thinking about all the possibilities, and then you get into it and you're just so focused on the bits and pieces of it. Like you're kind of like honing in on these little moments, these little sections, these little scenes, new characters coming in and just trying to piece it together that almost like time stops existing until all of a sudden you're at the end and it's like, oh, we have this whole thing.
Yes.
And it's been 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay, let's let it loose.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's such an exciting time, and to start hearing audiences react to
Yeah.
it and to feel like there's an excitement around it is just the best feeling in the world because we've put so much love and our hearts and soul into it along the way. So.
It is pretty wild to go like only we know about this, and
Yes.
then the very next day, everybody in the world knows about it. You know what I mean?
And you have Camila Cabello, you have Troye Sivan, you have so many newcomers in this movie. Which stars would like to have in the future join the franchise?
I think one of the really unique things about the Trolls franchise, which is great, is that I've been introduced to artists and their music through that franchise of artists that I hadn't listened to, and then realizing, oh, they're in this film, and then so for the future, I just want more of the new up and coming artists so that I can branch out and
Keep up
see
with-
more music.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, no, it's true, and I think something that I'm really interested in seeing is which characters audiences gravitate towards. Because I love Viva, for instance,
Oh.
and I would love to see more with her. I know a lot of people love Rhonda, as well, even though she's not voiced. But just seeing some of these characters and that I know that I would love to see, but I'm just can't wait to see.
I feel the same way. I think ever since Trolls 1, we all wanted Guardians back.
Yeah,
We got to see them a
people
little.
love Bridget.
Yeah, and I think it added so much to this film to have these different characters on their own storylines. They're on a honeymoon, and there's so much comedy that they splash in throughout the film.
Um som! A gente tava ouvindo agora!
Mas isso tudo
Além de descobrir como a animação é feita, também conversei com o produtor musical Joe Shirley e com o compositor Ted Shapiro, que revelaram para mim qual é o momento musical favorito deles no filme e como eles fazem os medleys, aquelas misturas de músicas conhecidas que ficam tão legais no filme.
So I'm going to have to say that there is a cue that Teddy wrote when Poppy and Viva connect, and right in the middle of the movie, that I just think is so expertly done and brilliantly written. So I would say I really enjoyed the music that he wrote there. And but as far as the song moments, I had a lot of fun with the boy band medley in the middle of the movie. Basically, when John Dory and Branch get Spruce/Bruce to come up on stage and sing with them and start rehearsing their boy band days. And it's kind of like it's a bit of a survey of boy band history, throughout the ages, throughout the decades. So being able to use songs from different eras and thread them into one cohesive song medley was a lot of fun to work on.
We have Camila Cabello's new song, Anything, back together after 10 years. Did you get to remix those songs too, or just the classic song like Sweet Dreams?
So I worked on the classic songs that exist in the movie, which was a lot of fun. I recorded Camilla Honestly, all of the voice actors, all the characters do sing throughout the medley, so it was a real joy to work with this cast. Camilla being, you know, one of the greatest singers, and she was just such a pleasure to be around. But what was really fun was taking the new song, the new NSYNC song, Better Place, and making it work for the moment at hand at the end of the movie. And we really played with that. We kind of, it was truly a remix. And, you know, I had this great song that Justin and Shellback had made. And they needed it to go into a particular emotional bit of the movie towards the end, and so it was a lot of fun to sort of like remix that and build a new arrangement around it that kind of harkened back to older boy band era songs, and then also worked for the story of them saving their brother, and it has this big flourish by the end of it that was a lot of fun to help build along the way.
They managed to reunite and sync after 10 years without releasing a song. There's any other band or singer you like to see joining the future of the franchise?
Teddy's got a great one.
Oh yeah, I think I'd like to see Bruno Mars be involved. I'm such a fan. You know, I think he's just such a great singer. He can sing anything. I think he'd fit really well in this world.
He rocked in Brazil. He did a show in Brazil.
Oh,
it was like hands down the best show. What about you, Joe?
Ooh, I think it'd be funny to have like Offset in the movie, like so, you know, or like Future, you know, like a really well-known rapper.
Foram 3 anos de trabalho árduo. Desde os storyboards até criar a animação e entregá-la nas telas como a gente vê. É um trabalho mágico. Eu pude conhecer a magia do cinema, como eles fazem as texturas, como eles criam um universo todo em animação. Trolls 3 é encantador.
Poppy, a gente vai se atrasar pro casamento real. Vamos casar!
Tronco!
Que foi? Ah, quer dizer, nós vamos casar a Bridget e o Gristle.
Para encerrar, eu perguntei para eles o que a audiência pode esperar de Trolls 3.
Joy explosion, filled with music, a visual spectacle, and a lot of humor and heart, I think.
Yeah, I would sum it up with the huge hug.
Yeah.
It's nice, Ruben. I like that.
Yeah. I always described it as unapologetic joy. I just think that's what all the Trolls films have been. You know what I mean? It's just, you know, just happiness and joy for joy's sake. You know what I mean? Just to celebrate music and dance and family. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing, you know, people respond to it.
I think for me, it's you know, if you're a fan of the franchise, you think you have an idea of what the Trolls universe is, and this goes and expands it beyond there. So, yeah, be ready for it.
This is a complicated world we live in, and I think that anytime you can go to the movies and see something that's just like purely joyful, that's a really wonderful experience. And I think that you know, these movies just feel great. And anybody, like, they work for all ages. Like, the jokes are really funny for adults, but they're funny for kids. The songs are great for adults and they're great for kids. You can take your family. I just think it's a whole, like, sort of payload of happiness that these movies deliver.
And it really does, you know, rely heavily on the music, and it's such a joy. Everybody had so much fun working on the music and on the movie in general that it's not surprising that the movie comes off that happy and you know, it's a dopamine hit. You know, I mean, it's like, it really is. You know, it'll get you dancing in your seat while you're watching in the theater, and have you listening to the soundtrack after you've seen the movie. You know, the songs play a pivotal role in that joy for sure.
E é isso aí, não esquece de dar o seu like no vídeo. Eu espero que você tenha gostado da nossa matéria. E agora eu vou lá dançar com os meus amigos Trolls. Can't stop the feeling. Just dance, dance, dance.
viagem.